And the guy was buying. What did he say?
The voyeur.
He's the only one being charged. So you got to ask yourself, what kind of RICO is this?
Up until now, they, being the prosecutor, they have put people on the stand. People testified, but I'm not entirely convinced, if we have to talk about it from a purely legal perspective, if what they're accusing him of in this particular case is what these testimonies are actually substantiating. Meaning, just to make it simple, let's say I do two things. I commit two crimes, or someone commits two crimes. A burglary and an assault and battery. So maybe I'm guilty of I did commit both acts. But if the prosecutor only chooses to prosecute me for the assault and battery and not for the burglary, and you put people on the stand that will substantiate me that will testify that I committed the burglary, but actually that's not really relevant. If the prosecutor only started a case against me for the assault and battery. And so in this case, we're hearing a lot of stories about Diddy being a freak, Diddy being a wild boy, paying meals to perform acts with his then girlfriend. I mean,
being excessively violent towards her as well.
Yes, but this focus, and you show the 4 points during last week's show, but it has more to do the charges, yeah. But it has more to do with. I mean, it's not really related to these acts. It's more like criminal organized crime type of activities, I would say.
Yeah, the charges are quite maybe excessive, maybe where you don't see that. No. Yeah, I
find it's very great for the media, for people to talk about. It's great. It's very sensationalized, but I do wonder how the jury will decide at the end of the trial. If they have to
process it, because there's a lot of things being said, but you said, where's the link?
Yeah, and if I committed both, but the case is only if someone committed assault and battery on the one hand and a burglary on the other hand, and the prosecutor only starts a case, only charges me for the assault and battery, and you people who come and testify that I committed a burglary, I mean, it's not really relevant to the case that much. So maybe they're just doing this to paint a picture of who he is. Yeah, to paint a picture of who he is, like the context of what type of person he is. Maybe. I think that's
so you're saying that the hook will still come. They're just jabbing right now, building it up. Let's see. But one thing for sure is that, according to CNN, Diddy's wealth is probably also on the line right now. So if he loses, it might end up very bad. Fair use for him.
Right now, Sean Diddy Combs isn't only fighting for his freedom, but also his money. Even with all his legal troubles, Forbes estimates his net worth is still around $400 million. But if he were to be convicted, all that could be in jeopardy. Why? Because the government could actually seize his assets. People might hear that and think, wait, does that really mean that all of his businesses, all the money he has, could conceivably have been used to finance this? Therefore, it's all fair game?
Yeah, it pretty much is. I mean, this is a very, very broadly phrased forfeiture allegation. It doesn't look like there was any sort of pre-indictment seizures that they're counting towards it. Normally you see things they've already gotten their hooks into. So it's basically just saying if it is an instrumentality or a proceed, we're going to go after it. And they've named the enterprise in a very broad way, the RICO. The RICO is essentially anything he touched in his business world, whether it's, record labels, liquor labels, planes, trains, and automobiles. Basically mean everything is in play. And the other thing is there's a concept called substitute assets. Just when you think you're crawling out of the wreckage and you're down to your last 400 million, you're told, oh, we're also going for substitute assets, which means even if we can't prove that this particular car, this diamond watch, this piece of art is not connected to criminality, it still relates to our overall reward, and we're going to use it as a substitute.
Crazy. So this might be really his end, and whatever is left, the government might be leaving nothing behind for other alligators.
And that's why I think we have to keep in mind that, because there's another rumor that says that this case was started because Diddy started acting wild and started challenging the people who he fell under, because he started feeling himself too much, thinking that
biting the hands that feed him. Basically, that's what you're
biting the hands that feeds him or that fed him, because they're not feeding him anymore.
They're not feeding him.
And so
they're feeding him.
One of the rumors is that because he started biting the hand that fed him, that they said, okay, well then we're gonna make your life miserable. Remember, KaiR, he sold his mansions. He was going liquid. And at the end of this trial, I mean, if they keep throwing, they being the prosecutor keeps throwing everything on him, knowing that they can stick or that they won't stick, but you just, exhaust him with the type of lawyers he has, with the type of hours they're probably making, because his freedom is on the line. Maybe I do think that one of the reasons they're also doing it is to financially harm him.
Makes sense.
Yeah, we gave it to you, we can take it away like that, snap of a finger, like Thanos.
Snap of a finger.
Thanos.
Great. Yeah, that's true. Relating to what you said
Also,
earlier,
just wanted to remember our viewers to rate the show by pressing the like button. Follow us on our social, subscribe to the channel with the notification icon, and stay tuned for our newsletter where we will share with you a link of videos and other viral content that could not make the show or did not make the show. Yes.
Yeah, going back to what you said in the beginning, because we open up to see what is the status, what have we found so far, and there's a lot of people that are asking the same question. Where is the link? Because we're not seeing it. And that's not only people within the hip-hop industry, like Vlad. Let me show you what Vlad had to say. Also people that are not relating to this hip-hop industry. Vlad said, maybe you can read it.
Yeah, Vlad said, DJ Vlad, I'm going to repeat what I've been saying since before the Diddy trial started. This is a domestic abuse case, not a RICO or trafficking case. And domestic abuse isn't even a charge. I have yet to see a witness who was trafficked. The male pros didn't seem like they were being forced when they got paid to sleep with Cassie. I'm pretty sure they would have done it for free once they found out it was her. And if we want to be fair, Cassie should be getting the same pros and trafficking charges as Diddy. But instead, she got immunity along with 20 mil from Diddy and 10 mil from Intercontinental Hotel. When the dust settles, she will be the real winner of this case.
People outside of the business said this following. Fair use. Shout out to Coach JB.
Nobody should be treated the way Cassie Ventura was treated. She is 100% a victim of domestic violence, assault, battery. This case is not as black and white as we all thought. I do not see 12 jurors unanimously agreeing that Cassie Ventura was commercially sex trafficked. After the video was released of Cassie, she made this really heartfelt Instagram post thanking everyone for their support, and she said something at the end. She said, "Domestic violence is the issue." So that right there is, I think, going to ring in the jury's minds if the defense puts this in their closing argument. Look, the victim of the alleged sex trafficking actually said herself, domestic violence is the issue. So I think that's huge, and I don't think enough people are necessarily talking about that. However, Diddy's a piece of shit, right? But the statute of limitations was up when this beatdown happened, when a lot of this stuff happened. So it's a tough case. You know, you're seeing Cassie obviously say certain things via texts and emails that, listen, I don't want my text read when I was 21 years old, saying things to an older man, trying to placate to him because that's what trauma survivors do. They've been groomed. They also don't feel like they're getting love when they're not being abused. So Cassie was in this awful spot, but was it sex trafficking? I don't know.
That's the big question. That's the big question. Oh man. But yeah, guys, anything else, RJ?
Nothing else for me, no.
Nothing else. This case is a crazy case, and time will tell. Time will tell where this is going. I'll be honest, I'm still trying to put the things together to find out, to predict where this is heading. I think he'll get time for at least one of the charges, but it's hard for me to see where. Maybe you're right, Asha. Maybe they're building this slowly but surely, but I wonder where the hook is, because their main person already testified, which was Cassie. That's the victim, which is kind of interesting as well. Usually, when you put a RICO on someone, you have multiple people being charged of a crime, but the RICO is him alone. He's the one
chief, the capo, the consigliere, the soldier,
and the guy who was buying. What did you say?
The voyeur.
He's the only one being charged. So you gotta ask yourself, what kind of RICO is this? This is a crazy RICO. But I guess the reason why they put it in a RICO is to maybe get his money. But in order to prove everything, you gotta prove first that what's the base for the whole RICO. I guess I don't know what they're trying to do. It's all over the place. But yeah. It's a crazy case. It's sad though. It's sad. I think that the thing what you see is that Diddy. I think I agree with the woman who said Diddy is not a good guy at all. He's actually one of the worst people out here.